What does it tell you?
All right, ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Welcome to the Sports Hangover. I'm Michael Benatar, joined alongside J-Dog.
Michael, it's good to see you. Just a couple of Jews on Hanukkah doing a podcast. We are as basic as it gets.
I forgot. Yes, it's Hanukkah tonight. Happy Hanukkah, Jeremy. I got to open up gifts tonight. We're making a brisket right now.
We're making a brisket downstairs. My mom's working on it.
Okay, Aaron's working on it.
Latkes too?
Latkes are coming. So we're going to do a feast tomorrow. That's going to be our big meal. But tonight's like the prep for the bigger meal. And
you're doing presents on the first night because it's 8 nights. People don't understand that don't celebrate Hanukkah. Yeah. It's a prolonged present event. It's going to go till next Friday.
Well, when I was a kid, I was allowed to ask Hanukkah Harry. That was who we had instead of Santa. If we could get one big gift or 8 small gifts. I always chose the one big gift.
Really? I didn't know it was either or.
I guess in our house there was. You were allowed like one big or little ones. Which
wow, I feel like I got big and small. I don't know if this means you were deprived a little bit, but I got both.
Well, because we also celebrated Christmas, so sometimes it overlaps. You're gonna get Hanukkah gifts.
So jealous of my Jewish friends who also got Christmas.
Yeah, you could do that too, Jeremy. When you are a big kid, you can celebrate both.
When I become an adult, Mike, I'm going to do both.
You can do both. You can definitely do it.
There's still time. Speaking of Hanukkah, and I didn't even plan this segue, but this is very exciting. My Hanukkah gift to you, and honestly, a gift that the country of Israel gave to everyone, Mike, is that aliens do exist.
I love it.
A new quote, a new article from this man who ran the Israeli Space Division for 30 years. He's old now, but he's still alive.
Yeah.
He says, 1, aliens do exist. 2, the government talks to them. 3, humans are not ready for this information. That's why it's not public. 4, Donald Trump knows, nearly told everyone about it, but they made him stop, which is the least believable of this whole thing. And number 5, Mike, there's a secret base underground of Mars, and that's where we do all of our communication with the aliens.
Interesting. That sounds a little far out. The alien part sounded very believable up until that point. I was going to say there's a great new documentary. Haven't watched it yet. I purchased it. It's called Phenomenal on anywhere VOD, anywhere you can rent it, all about how aliens are real. And they were also on the Joe Rogan podcast. So if you really want a double dose of aliens are real, go listen to that and watch that. I'm in. I 100% believe it, Jeremy. You know I'm on board with all this.
I even more than anything, I love the idea that humans are not ready for it, Mike. It just makes so much sense that like we're really not. Like what would happen to the stock market? What would happen to our everyday life if you just came out one day and said, "Yeah, we're talking aliens"?
Well, I read this book. It's called Sapiens, and it references how we've just made up literally everything in our lives. Money's fake. Like we just put value behind it. Contracts, purchasing homes. These are all just things we've just like made up to make us feel safe and secure. Like, oh, let me write this check. Like, here you go. Here's money. If aliens came down, it would literally break our brains in the entire world. We no longer would know.
Wait, you think they would go to the ATM and pull our money out?
I think we would all kind of go crazy. There'd be like a lot of crazy people. I don't know if I'd freak out. I would want like a chance to go like on the spaceship and see like, where do you go? Do you limitly like travel wherever you want? Like endlessly? Like, oh, I can travel to this other galaxy. There's other humans too. Go check them out.
Maybe this means in our lifetime, it'll really come out that we are communicating with them and it's all real and validated. This is more of a source. This is like a Schefter dropping a note about a few hours before the game. And you don't really know until the inactives come out. This is kind of
UFO bomb. That's what it is. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. We have a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff to hit. Do you want to talk about James Harden? I had like a little like 1 through 10.
We talk James Harden too much. What is James Harden doing? He's on the Rockets and he's not happy. And not happy. I'm just going to attack you here for a second, Mike. You are a fan of the NBA player, so you're going to say that James Harden can go play wherever he wants.
He can, but remember I brought up.
No, he can't. He's under contract with the Rockets.
Remember I said a few weeks ago I thought this was going to hurt the NBA. How this is like not good that he can just pout and try to leave the NBA.
Yes.
And I think going forward, if he actually succeeds in leaving his team under contract, things are not going to be good. Because then it's just like, whatever you want to do. Like, hey, guys, you want to, why don't you go play football for a year and come back and play on another, or do whatever you want. We can't have this. That's why there's rules and contracts, because people want certain things to happen, or the NBA is just going to be what coaster teams, right? It's just like East Coast and West Coast teams. That's where everybody wants to be. No one's going to want to be in Houston. No one wants to be there. Technically on the coast, right?
I mean, Oklahoma City and Houston are like good NBA franchises. Milwaukee, like those are all in the middle. Chicago Bulls, were they any good?
They were good at some point. I don't think they've been good for a while.
No.
But I just wanted to see, like, if you had a rating, I was going to throw out 5 teams. You tell me where you think he might land, because I'm going to say 95% he's going to get traded.
I think so too. You know, I watch CNBC all day, and the Rockets owner is also a restaurateur, and he was on CNBC talking about his business, and they asked him about James Harden, and he really walked around it, didn't address it. So I think he is out, but it doesn't mean he should be.
I love that guy's show. He has like that. It's kind of like Shark Tank. Yeah, he has like his own show on CNBC, I think, like where he goes and like helps businesses, and he's like, I got all the casinos. Like, I didn't know he owned the not Golden Nuggets. What's a casino in Vegas? The Golden Nugget.
Yeah. On in Fremont Street, Old Vegas.
Yeah. It's great. Own a casino.
A guy who dumped like $350 million into Old Vegas is the creator of Zappos, who just died.
Really?
He like reinvigorated all of Old Vegas and then died at like 45. Too bad.
He did a great job. Still my favorite part of Vegas. You can really feel Vegas there. When you go to new places, like you go to the Palms or whatever it is, it's like, oh, okay. Like the Aria. It's too new. You want to feel that grime. That's why you go to Vegas.
It's too bougie. Remember, speaking of the NBA, I saw Chris Paul in Vegas with you. He walked right by.
I literally remember that in my head. We're walking. Where are we? Are we at like not the
MGM,
Flamingo?
right? We're walking out of. We went to the pool and then we're walking out of the casino area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you thought you saw him. He was definitely not there.
Definitely Chris Paul.
Okay, 5 teams likely spot to go. Give me your power rating. We can quickly go through it. Then I got some bullshit to believe. The Nets. What do you think? Your new home state soon, maybe.
That's true. New York City. It might live in Brooklyn, might be walking distance. So I'm going to say yes. That's like number 1.
Okay. Bucks. What do you think about the Bucks? Milwaukee Bucks. Good spot.
Giannis could use some help. They don't have the resources to add him.
Lakers.
Oh God, no.
Okay.
LeBron and Anthony Davis are enough, right?
Well, they are enough. But if this was like, hey, come play here.
There's not enough basketballs for James Harden to play for the Lakers.
Clippers.
Again, not enough balls. I think Paul George just signed a huge new deal. Kawhi's there. You're a Kawhi hater a little bit. I think it's okay with the 2 of them.
And then what about your Miami Heat? What do you think about them?
It's sad. I was a Heat fan growing up. I went to Orlando, became a Magic fan, and the Heat won championships after that with LeBron. So I miss those.
You're allowed
it's possible.
You can.
They're a good young. What?
You can jump ship anytime you want. You're allowed to like leave your team.
Mike is the king of jumping ship from franchises. You've represented every team in the NFC West.
Almost have all the jerseys.
Yeah, I don't think the Heat are likely. They're a young team. I think it's second most likely, but Brooklyn's the spot. How about this? I think a little Nostradamus preview, Sportstradamus. We have our New Year's predictions coming up. Here's an early one. James Harden plays for the Rockets this year.
Whoa, you think forced by the upper management saying, listen, you're staying here. You signed a contract. You can't leave. You could sit out, but we'll fine you all your money until you're gone. Okay, I like that. Now, does he play or does he just sit there and not play?
He'll play. The guy loves to shoot. He'll be there.
The soundboard, I forgot to hook it up before. So
I had a Scandal City all lined up.
Oh well, just go for it. I can sing it. Scandal City.
Oh, just like the soundboard. Couldn't tell the difference. Mike, this is a little bit political. I want to get your thoughts on this because you were involved in the round of funding. The government helped us out. A lot of people forget. Months and months ago, back when we didn't know how long the pandemic would last, the government helped us out with a PPP loan, some stimulus. Don't know where they've been the last few months. I guess they're at home with their constituents or maybe not working at all. Clearly not doing anything. TB12, the company of Tom Brady, Mike, got a loan for $960,000 as part of the first round of PPP. And we know that nearly 50% of small businesses who applied for a loan didn't get any money. What are your thoughts on, someone who's worth maybe $200 million getting around $1 million for his small business?
To me, it's weird that these companies even applied for it. Now, I don't know if you can kind of look at it on both sides. Oh, is this really going to happen? Like, is my company going to go under? I'm not really sure what's this pandemic's going to bring on. And then on the other hand, well, I'm a multi-million-dollar company. I have a lot of cash. Do I really need this? Now, I don't know if it's Tom Brady's decision to go do this, but obviously somebody in his management crew said, listen, let's go get this loan. I I didn't get the PPP loan. I know some people got the PPP.
And
Didn't
you're
get it.
not worth $200 million.
I'm not worth $200 million. But I think it is kind of crazy that these companies got it. I thought the banks were trying. It was basically people that had good connections with the banks were able to get these loans because they were spending a lot of money, saving a lot of money, using all the credit they had. And I think it's something like when you don't have a lot of history with the bank, you weren't able to get these loans. So I think for that is like, well, it sucks. But if they ever do it again, I think these companies that are making, well more than, $50 million shouldn't be able to apply, because I think a lot of companies in California did it.
Yeah, I can see that. I just think it's not worth the PR that comes with it, right? Like Brady could have easily just spotted them a mill if they had to get through, instead of this onslaught, instead of a big podcast like us talking about it, instead of the articles being written about it. It's not worth it. And it's bad PR when you look around and you see small businesses closing every day that don't have the means that TB12 does.
And this was in my Scandal City. I want to talk about Howard Stern and Dan Le Batard. Howard Stern just inked a new deal talking money. I think he got, I don't know where, they didn't really say, maybe around $100 million a year for another 5 years. Now, for looking from the outside in, God knows, I don't know who has Sirius anymore. Sometimes you get it in a rental car. Maybe your parents accidentally still pay for it monthly because they just keep giving them cheaper and cheaper deals. But this seems like I don't know what Sirius and satellite, whatever they're doing. It seems like a dead medium, I guess, in a way, right? Like this doesn't seem like it's going anywhere.
Yeah, because I feel like satellite TV is dead and satellite radio, like Sirius is big and powerful, but are they gonna have money in 5 years to still pay? Like we're gonna have self-driving cars and we're gonna have TVs in every car and you're gonna be watching things. You're not gonna be listening as much, is one of my big opinions. That's why we pivoted to video, right? That's why we're live on YouTube and Facebook right now.
Well, we did this 10 years ago, but no one caught up to technology. So now we're going back to our old school. So if you look at our YouTube, it's like 2013, we were doing video before all these other videos. But I think obviously maybe this is like it. Maybe he doesn't want to try something new. He's comfortable. He's got a studio. But now Dan Le Batard is about to be like kind of booted off ESPN, I think.
Yeah, he's done January 4th. He asked to leave. He's never gotten along with management. He had his radio show collapsed to 2 hours. They never marketed his podcast correctly. And then they fired his producer without telling him. So there's been a ton of reasons for Le Batard to leave. Now, he's super popular among our age group, Mike. I know you don't love him necessarily. He doesn't talk a lot of sports. It's more like weird shit.
Yeah, it's like a morning show. Like there's a lot of stuff going on, a little fluff. I listen to it occasionally when I just want something easy to listen to in the background. But I guess now the question is, where does he go? Because it seems like his options are Sirius or maybe Spotify or maybe go off and do your own podcast. But I think somebody coming from radio, you want that comfort of a company backing you when you go into it, because a lot of people don't know. Listen, we do our podcast basically for free. There's not a lot of technology going on here.
Don't tell people. But everyone's gonna have a podcast. Like
I know.
People have podcasts as it is.
But I think there's something to it when somebody's like that is coming. They want support behind them. So I don't think if he goes to Sirius, does this help Sirius's brand or does this not help him at all? Because it's like, well, I'm never going to listen because I literally I'm not going to pay for Sirius, even though it's like $3 a month or something.
Yeah, I guess I disagree in the fact that anyone can have content now. Like Dan Patrick doesn't have a deal with anyone. His show's on Peacock, but his radio show is just marketed himself, and he makes all the ad money on his show, and he just sells it to affiliates. I think that's one way that Le Batard can do it. Just go to the Dan Le Batard app or listen to danlebatard.com, and that could be one. I think there's tons of options from streaming to Sirius that are looking to invest in the Spotify. If they're looking to blow out the Joe Rogan experience with a lineup of big names, I think Le Batard qualifies, right?
Can I tell you, I hate the podcast player in Spotify. I hate it. I hate the layout. I hate the formatting.
Good to know.
Makes sense for music. Doesn't make sense for podcasts. They got to fix that because
I've never listened to a podcast here. I'm an Apple podcast guy, just saying.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of options, but I think it's good he's leaving ESPN. It never worked. It never made sense in the last few years. So it's good that he's going to be able to be free. And the good thing is he's been teasing this, which he's really good about, is he's going to air all the dirty laundry with ESPN at his new platform.
I love it.
Been talking about that. By the way, Mike, we have more breaking news from radio.
Oh, breaking news. Breaking news.
Colin Cowherd is leaving Los Angeles.
Whoa. No, he's not.
He's moving to Las Vegas to open up a new studio where he can be closer to the sports betting scene.
Do you think he's partnering with some casinos and stuff?
It's all we know right now. Clay Travis is reporting it. Cowherd did tweet that he'll have a major announcement next week. We don't know if this means he's leaving Fox or staying with Fox. Is he going down his own independent route? Is he going to Spotify? I think there's a lot of options.
Everybody wants out of California. No one wants to be here anymore.
Elon Musk is bringing Tesla out of it.
Elon left. I used to listen to Adam Carolla. Adam Carolla is going to leave. Everybody's going to Texas.
Adam Carolla became a crazy person, right?
So I thought he did, and I tried listening to some of his shows. He's not a crazy person. It's just things he's always said. And I think slowly he's never left his stance on a lot of stuff. And slowly that just became crazier because he wasn't adjusting to the times. So you can listen to this stuff. I listen to Loveline a lot, classic Loveline.
Yeah.
Literally saying the same stuff from 1999 that he does in 2020. And that might be the issue.
That might be the issue. Never evolving. Like Jimmy Kimmel was on that show and he's evolved. He's like liberal Jimmy now and pushing back against Trump because that's what you do to make money in America. And
saw Jimmy and his wife at John and Vinny's.
What's John and Vinny's?
It's a pizza place. Great pizza. Italian spot. Really good. No, right before the pandemic.
I was going to say, you can't leave your house in LA.
No. We're not leaving our house here.
I heard the paparazzi mic have nothing to do. There's no one to take pictures of in LA. So they're like losing their jobs too.
Well, you can go to the Saddle Ranch on Sunset, where I used to hang out when I first moved here 10 years ago. It's a bar on Sunset Boulevard. It's where all the TikTokers are going now. So if you're listening and need to go hang out with some TikTokers, go to Saddle Ranch. They have cotton candy drinks and a bowl in the middle of the bar.
What kind of bowl?
Like one of those mechanical bowls.
Oh, a mechanical bowl. We went there, I think.
I'm sure I brought you there. It's
your first place in LA. That was good. That was good.
Yeah, that was good.
We're on Price is Right. If anyone doesn't know,
Price is Right. Yeah. We should.
All right, let's get back on track.
All right, I got what do you have? I have bullshit or believe. What do you have?
Bullshit or believe.
All right, bullshit or believe time. All right, my bullshit or believe. Floyd Mayweather is fighting Logan Paul. Bullshit or believe. Is this a money grab? Or whatever the hell you think this is. What is this?
Because of how he's going to get his ass beat by the greatest boxer of our generation, right?
Yeah. So I looked into it. So there's tiered pricing for this pay-per-view. They start pricing right now, $24. You get it. The first million of pay-per-view sales. So the first million, they get this. Then it raises up to 39, then 59 on December 29th, and then 69 February 11th. Is this real? Like, I don't know what's happening anymore because Jake Paul all of a sudden is a boxer because he knocked out a guy that's like half his size.
Now, you were giving him credit last week. You said he's been training. He's a big guy, long arms. Maybe he's got a chance in a lot of fights. We never thought he had a chance against Floyd Mayweather.
No. I don't think he does, but we could say that Mayweather likes guys like this that are like rowdy, like Conor McGregor coming in, like burn up all your energy on these first, few rounds. And I'll take the win at the end because I know how to win. Yeah. I don't know what this is. It doesn't seem real.
Yeah. I had this in bullshit or believe too. And the question was, is this real? So it appears real. Pay-per-view is charging for it. It's February 20th. So it's a few weeks after the Super Bowl. If that takes place, if Goodell can find a way to get through this season, which is 50-50 right now. I'm not paying for it. I'll stream it for free on some weird Twitch or Periscope.
I've been having a lot of trouble streaming these fights.
Well, we watched his last one, right?
I didn't watch it. I couldn't get it.
I didn't see the Tyson part, but I saw the one with Nate Robinson, him and Nate Robinson.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that one.
I think Floyd Mayweather, the question to me goes to him. Like, we know Logan Paul wants money. We know he wants fame and notoriety. And I don't think he cares if he gets knocked out by the best boxer of all time, because who's going to blame him? The question goes to Floyd. What is Floyd doing? And I think Floyd is sticking up for Nate Robinson and saying, dude, you got crushed, and this was hard to watch, but I'm not going to let you go down this way, and Logan Paul is going to go down instead.
But you really, like, Nate Robinson has never was a boxer. Like, it's like if I don't know. It's just like if two random guys that were doing two totally different sports came in and said, I'm going to box, kind of like celebrity boxing. Somebody's going to get knocked out because no one knows how to box. Somebody's going to make a wrong move and just get plastered on the floor.
Yeah.
I mean,
Nate Robinson wrestling, I think it's going to be like choreographed, and there's going to be a time when Floyd like knocks him out. It could be like acting. Maybe I don't think it'll be real. That's why I'm not going to pay for it. I don't recommend anyone pay for it, but I think it's actually going to happen. I think Floyd's going to rough him up in some way.
You want to do some gambling talks?
I have another bullshitter belief.
All right, give it to me.
Let's talk about the Jets for a second. If you're watching Red Zone, if you're watching the end of that game on Sunday, Jets Raiders, the Jets are about to win a game, which is a big deal because they haven't won one since before the pandemic started, for example. So the Jets are ready to win a game, and on the last play of the game, they're up 4 against the Raiders. Derek Carr drops back to pass, and the Jets brought 8 people. They brought an engage 8 blitz. For anyone who knows Madden, it's like what you do when you're trying to give up a touchdown to get the ball back late in the game, for example.
Or
so they
like
bring everybody
or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So they bring everybody one-on-one coverage with Henry Ruggs, the fastest receiver in this year's draft. The cornerback gets beat. Carr just throws it as high and as far as he can, and Ruggs runs under it, catches it, touchdown. Bullshit or believe, was it a tank? Did the coaching staff actually say, blitz here so we lose, so we can keep getting Trevor Lawrence? Because if they win the game, Trevor Lawrence probably goes to the Jaguars. This changes the course of history for the next 10 or 20 years for 2 different franchises. So what happened there? Because they fired the defensive coordinator the next day, so they're making it seem like it wasn't planned. I'm just trying to figure all this out.
Jeremy, I think it's kind of perfect because the Jets are a team. It's like maybe the coaching staff already said, like, look, we're trying to out different things. Maybe they're trying different players. They're tanking for Trevor, right? That's what they want to do. Last year, you guys were tanking for Tua. They're tanking for Trevor. They want him. They want him to play for the Jets. They know this is over. Sam Darnold, not the guy that's going to do it for him. But it's weird because the players go along with it and they don't think about it. But in a way, if you pitch it the right way, listen, guys, here we go. We just got to get the pressure on them, and they won't be able to get the ball anywhere. That can make sense, right? Like you could see it go both ways. Kind of like
you can't believe on a Hail Mary type play that calling a blitz is the right thing to do.
No, it's probably not the right thing to do. Usually when it's like 0 seconds left, usually have literally everybody in the
opposite of a blitz.
Yes, I get it. But this is what they do. Literally only one team can possibly tank this well, right? Like this is what they want to do. They want to tank like this, go for it. They're going to get Trevor. I can't hate them for it because there's nothing you can do. It's even like in fantasy, Jeremy. You can't tank that bad because you get punished in our league. If you tank, guess what you got to do? You got to go with like teenagers and go take your SATs or some ass waxing, whatever it is. So they got to figure something out where you get punished. Like if you're going to tank or if you're not going to win a game this season, we're going to punish you. And I think that would help them not do it anymore. Because by the way, Jeremy, you're getting a bye week this week in fantasy. If anybody cares about fantasy,
I was going to say I'm getting a bye in both my leagues. I actually finished first in both of my leagues, Mike, which is a problem because the best team never wins. Now are you getting a bye too?
I'm not getting a bye.
You're going to play this weekend.
I got to play Thomas, our boy Thomas in the league, the
so
full LA Chargers team. Yeah. Hopefully,
no one cares about us except that we're both good at fantasy for different reasons. You don't care, and I care a lot.
Yeah.
Just back up to the Jets situation. Their defensive coordinator who got fired. Good riddance to him. We don't need him in the league. He's a guy, when he was the Saints defensive coordinator, he was the one in charge of Bounty Gate, where he talked about the 49ers and wanting to go out and hit their head so hard that they leave the game, and was paying players for hitting Saints players in the head in a playoff game. So that guy should have never had a job after that. I don't know why he did and why teams continue to hire him. But of course, it was Adam Gase who hired him in the first place.
Your boy. All right, let's do some gambling.
Okay.
All
let's
right,
make money.
Last week went 4-1.
Oh, and I was agreeing with you on nearly every pick, including the one you lost, which was that Chargers-Patriots game that we're not going to talk about.
So we didn't actually put that one in there. We swapped out. I was talked off of it. I didn't do it.
Not by me.
So I have one game in here that that we're not sure of. We're not sure on our final picks. Some of these are like hot picks, but these aren't our final picks.
Okay.
Saints at Eagles. I'm taking the Saints here, -7. Eagles are starting Jalen Hurts. How can I not play Sean Payton against a rookie quarterback, right? First time starting the game, little jittery. I could see a few picks here and there. I think this is just an easy play.
Taysom Hill, Jalen Hurts, 2 running quarterbacks who really a lot of people say shouldn't be quarterbacks at all, but here they are.
Yeah, they are. 2020.
Jalen Hurts is better than Carson Wentz right now. That much we know. But I saw Jalen Hurts, Mike, play in college at Alabama, and I went to this game, Alabama-Ole Miss, and I sat super low. Alabama was number 1 at the time. Jalen Hurts threw every pass 20 feet over his receiver's head. Every single pass. I think he's going to struggle with accuracy.
I love it.
If you have an Eagles receiver, don't play him this week. Can't do it. and I think the Saints win by 14 or 21.
All right, good. We got a J-Dog agreement on that one. I like it. Washington at San Francisco. I'm taking San Francisco -3. Okay, here's the one thing I'm playing off of. San Francisco has not had a home field advantage. They're technically right now playing in Arizona. They've stayed in Arizona for this week. They've been here for 2 weeks now, so they're another home game in the Arizona Stadium. Washington's coming over off that big win off the Steelers. I think San Francisco is a better team. I don't think Washington is that good. Alex Smith, obviously comeback player of the year, but I just think San Francisco is a better team, better defense, and also Shanahan fired from Washington. A little revenge, maybe.
Ooh, that's a good stat. You heard that one from Warren Sharp or someone smarter than us.
I joined a Slack gambling thread, and it is just nonstop stats and conversations, and I just like take little snippets of it now.
I use Slack now too. I love it. So there's a few things here. Let's back up a second. Two things we learned this week. One, Alex Smith, big dick energy, comeback player of the year. Dude, unbelievable. Not only to play this year, I thought he was playing on Washington and they were just going to go 3-13 and mess around. He's actually playing and winning big games.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. He beat the Steelers.
And that's number two. The Steelers are who we thought they were. Soft ass, undefeated team. You know I'm a Dolphins fan. You know since 1972, no team has gone undefeated, Mike. But listen, I was never afraid of the Steelers being that undefeated team. I was never afraid. Larry Zonka was popping champagne at like halftime of the game. Like this team, undefeated? No, I'm not worried about that. So we were never concerned about the Steelers. They're soft. I told you they'd be 13-3. Now they're 11-1 on the way to 13-3. So those are the two things. Now, you've been ahead of Washington all year. You've been a Washington football.
Whoa, boop.
You can say Red Tails. That's a future name. Red Tails.
Red Tails. That was one of the possible names too.
So WFT, you've been supporting all year. I'm surprised you're jumping off the bandwagon after their biggest win of the year. But I tend to agree. San Francisco is better than they've been playing, and they should win this game.
Now, I was also going to – I was talked off of this by a mutual friend because obviously he's a Pittsburgh fan, but I did want to take Buffalo at home playing Pittsburgh. I just thought this was a good spot for them. At home, playing Pittsburgh off their – also, Pittsburgh played 3 games in 11 days.
To no fault of their own.
But I'm not taking them. This is not
because of Baltimore, by the way. The Steelers – and I'll say this. The Steelers continue to be penalized because their opponents have COVID outbreaks. That's not fair.
It's not fair, but it's COVID. Yeah, there's literally nothing you can do.
Shout out to the Steelers kicker, Matthew Wright, for banging home his 1 field goal attempt. Mike, he went to UCF, was their kicker, and it's great that he was making kicks for the field. Great. From UCF. He's their national championship kicker. I saw him kick in the national championship.
You got to shout him out. Kansas City at Miami. Miami is getting 7 points here. I don't have a lot going on this, but I think Kansas City, listen, they're up and down. We know they're great. We know Mahomes is great, but I'm loving Miami lately. I think Miami getting points at home. I think this is an easy pick. Thoughts?
Yeah, I like that. I think Miami's a team to beat. Okay. Tua's been playing well, right? I think he only has 1 loss.
Yeah, he's been pretty. He's not the best in fantasy. He's not going to be playing.
What's the line again?
7.
7's a big number. I think he covers.
Huge number. So I did actually add it. Pittsburgh at Buffalo. I like Pittsburgh. I like Buffalo -2.5 at home. Lots of injuries on defense for Pittsburgh. Worst running team the last month, Pittsburgh. And Classic. 3rd game in 11 days for Pittsburgh. This is too easy. You take Buffalo. Yeah,
I'm taking Buffalo too. Now, one question would be, are there going to be fans in Buffalo? Because they don't get many primetime home games. And if there are fans there, even if there's like 2,000 or 3,000, they're going to be so loud. I feel like upstate New York is probably not the most liberal area out there. So I feel like they might have a few fans packing the stadium.
I like it. Yeah. Oh, a little home field advantage. I like that. Houston at Chicago. Houston -1. I'm taking here. Bears can't run the ball. Watson has been trending up. Last week's stat, if we stop the season today, he would be the all-time greatest quarterback of all time. You love Deshaun. I'm taking him here against the terrible, terrible Chicago Bears. Houston -1.
I love the pick, but you just said Chicago can't run the ball.
They can't.
The last 2 weeks, David Montgomery, 103 yards and 72 yards.
They're the worst running team in the league.
Better with Montgomery. They were not good before that. He's only had one 100-yard game, but it was in the last 2 weeks. I think they can run the ball, but God, their quarterback play is awful. Allen Robinson is a free agent this year, Mike, and I can't wait for him to join a competent team, maybe even the Dolphins, who you just talked about. He'd be a great target for 2.5. I'll take the Texans. Deshaun Watson is hot. The last 3 or 4 weeks, he's been one of the best quarterbacks in the world. You had a great stat how he didn't throw an interception in the month of November, right?
I did. That was one of the stats. One of the guys. He's
yeah.
good. So
wow.
you agreed on all my picks.
What's going on here?
What?
We agree too much.
Yeah, you agreed way too many games. This actually scares me even more than you agreeing on a few of them. Not good. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'll send out the final pick this weekend.
Mike, I'm playing golf on Sunday, not playing to watch football because I have buys in all my fantasy leagues. So it's
like, you don't care.
Point?
It's over.
I'll just come back in week 15. I'm resting up.
Cool. Okay, rest up. I think that's it. That's all I got. You got anything else?
No, we're planning some big content. Next week is our recap, or Christmas week. We're doing a recap of the year, and it's not like the lows of the year. Remember, we did a show live from Mexico. We have a lot of highlights from this year. They're just 9 or 10 months ago.
Yes.
So we have our recap of the year from sports and all of that. And then we have our Sports-Adamus show coming out right around New Year's. One of the biggest shows of the year where we look back on our predictions. We're going to look back and see what we got wrong. Surely we got everything wrong about this year.
Oh, yeah.
And we get to make new predictions for next year, which is going to be very tricky.
I love the prediction. Sports-Adamus is back. You know what? We got to make some shirts. Sports-Adamus t-shirts will be out next week.
You're right. We have a new website for apparel.
Yes. So sportshangover.com, podcast and apparel. We're culture, baby. Anything you want, we got it there. Sportshangover.com. Follow us on Instagram at the Sports Hangover Podcast. I wanted to mention, I don't know why I had this down, but this was big for LA. The LA Kings might play hockey outside of Dodger Stadium, which is right behind me. And I'm really excited because I can go watch hockey in the stadium. They might be able to space everybody out and we can watch outdoor hockey.
Wait, why could you watch it if they're going to play outside because it's not safe to play inside? Why would fans be allowed? Your governor and mayor are out of control. There's no way.
They're literally out of control. Somebody needs to get rid of them. But yeah, I think we might be able to watch it at Dodger Stadium if things get a little better.
Like you'll watch it from the hike above Dodger Stadium, like seeing one player cross like one little section of the ice is what you'll be able to see.
Yeah, I can't do that. All right, that's it. End of the show. If we want to go some list reviews, hopefully we are back next week.